Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gomez topping our newscast. On Tuesday, we reported the Senate session on the renewal of the government's health insurance plan after scrambling for solutions to the possibility of increased insurance premiums for government employees. The 31st legislature concluded yesterday's session with a solution that saved employees some money. News 2's April Knight has that story.
Government employees can breathe easier over the future of their health insurance package. On Tuesday, the Senate voted to approve the renewal of health insurance for all employees, retirees, and dependents at no extra cost to government employees.
Increase to the government and the employees, but nothing that would be paid out of employees' check.
The renewed insurance plan will cost more, but the government will be able to shoulder the burden thanks to some refunds owed by Cigna and some forward thinking by lawmakers during the budget process.
We know that the insurance was trending to be higher in FY16 budget. When we did the budget markup, we had a certain amount of funding in there, anticipating the increase on the government side and the employer side.
If the senators were not able to find the funding, the new health insurance contract would have cost government employees 3.3% of the current plan, or $1.8 million altogether. That's an extra $3 per paycheck for singles and $4 for families.
One of the things that we were trying to do is ensure, at least at this juncture, that we don't take anything away from employees' paycheck.
The quality of the insurance is similar to the previous years, according to Finance Committee Chairman Clifford Graham, except for the employees' annual overall out-of-pocket expenses.
It went from $3,000 to $5,000 a year, but in doing so, the copay and all of that items are counted towards the out-of-pocket expense right now.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Lawmakers also had to make a new law that allows the government to pay an additional percentage of the employees' premiums so that their annual payments remain steady. The United States Congress narrowly averted a government shutdown today by approving a temporary spending measure. Many say at the center of the budget debates is whether or not to defund Planned Parenthood. Delegate to Congress Stacey Plaskett had questions of her own for Planned Parenthood President Cecil Richards. News 2's April Knight has more.
Planned Parenthood is getting grilled in the U.S. Congress after the video controversy on the alleged mistreatment of fetal tissue. But some members of Congress still believe in its merit, and Delegate to Congress Stacey Plaskett is one of them. On Tuesday, Planned Parenthood President Cecil Richards testified before the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. Delegate Plaskett said she's displeased about the organization's absence in the Virgin Islands.
And the reason I'm displeased about that is because I know the good work that Planned Parenthood does in preventative health for its women.
Plaskett cited the high rate of unplanned teenage pregnancy in the Virgin Islands. She said here that number is 141 per 1,000. Nationally, it's only 29 per 1,000.
I see how important the work that you guys do is to different areas. And, you know, the chairman has 7 clinics in his area in Utah. And Mr. Chairman, we'd be glad to take any one of them.
Plaskett also butt heads with the committee chairman, who insisted that that day's hearing was about funding and not about the videos that started the inquiry in the first place.
It caused some controversy, but we have, in the essence of time, some legitimate discussion about a continuing resolution and ongoing funding for Planned Parenthood. And we've laid that out. But my comments were not about the video, it was about the funding.
But Plaskett disagreed.
I think it's a little naive of us to think that that discussion can be done in a vacuum without the videos and the other documents from the other side.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Also on Tuesday, House Republicans adopted another resolution to cut funding to Planned Parenthood, a measure that Senate Democrats are expected to block. The Caribbean Exploratory Research Center, a unit within the University of the Virgin Islands School of Nursing, will hold its 8th annual Health Disparities Institute titled Eliminating Health Disparities in Minority Communities. Mark it on a calendar. It's October 14th to 16th at the Marriott Frenchman's Reef and Morningstar Beach Resort. Health disparities, they say, refer to differences in the health status of different groups of people. Minority populations often have higher rates of certain diseases and more deaths and suffering from them compared to mainstream population. The Institute is a 3-day mix of keynote speakers, panels, workshops, and networking events with experts in health policy from across the nation and Caribbean researchers and healthcare policymakers. The Bureau of Economic Research, Office of the Governor, launched a U.S. Virgin Islands 2015 Business Needs Survey on skill, qualification, and training needs of local employers. The survey seeks to investigate the current and future skill needs of enterprises, sectors, and occupations. Information is being collected from employers about their hiring needs and potential skill gaps in the labor force. The results of the survey will be used to develop skills supply and demand forecasts and help develop workforce policies and programs. Only businesses or establishments that have been selected randomly in this scientific survey will receive a questionnaire. You can contact the Bureau of Economic Research for more information, and that number is 774-9793. Well, government employees could soon bid on old government vehicles once they're up for auction. Senator Marvin Blyden is working on a measure that he says would allow hardworking government employees who once were not allowed to partake in public auctions to be afforded permission to bid on surplus government motor vehicles. According to Blyden, the process will be fair and no one will be able to bid on more than 2 vehicles. The bill recently made it past the Committee on Government Services, Consumer, and Veteran Affairs. Count on 2 to keep you updated. Turn our attention overseas. A Georgia woman was executed overnight despite repeated attempts to stop the execution, even though the woman conspired to kill a husband in 1997. Andrew Spencer reports her daughter was among those fighting to save her life.
Supporters of Kelly Gissendaner prayed outside of a Georgia prison, hoping to save her life. Her daughter, Kayla, was among them.
We want y'all to know that we are still fighting. Do not lose your faith. This is not over. There's a reason that we didn't get to see her today, and hopefully that's because we're going to see her again this weekend. So stay strong.
Kayla says her mother had changed in the years since 1997, when Kelly Gissendaner convinced her lover to kill her husband, Douglas. His parents and siblings have not been as forgiving as his daughter, saying in a statement, as the murderer, Kelly Gissendaner has been given more rights and opportunity over the last 18 years than she ever afforded Doug, who is the victim here. She had no mercy, gave him no rights, no choices, nor the opportunity to live his life. More than 90,000 people signed a petition asking Georgia's governor to stop the execution. And Gissendaner's lawyers filed several motions in court on Tuesday, trying to stop or at least postpone it. Some of her supporters visited her in the final hours.
As we left, it became very somber, and Kelly asked us to pray with her, and we all prayed together. She was very strong, and she was very assured in whatever the process was going to be.
But the U.S. Supreme Court denied multiple requests for a stay of execution. And at 12:21 a.m. Wednesday morning, 47-year-old Kelly Gissendaner was put to death by a lethal injection. I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
Kelly Gissendaner's execution had been postponed twice before, once due to a snowstorm and again after the Department of Corrections said the lethal injection drugs looked cloudy. Keeping an eye on the economy, U.S. stocks rallied in September's final session with the Standard & Poor's 500 index rising the most in 3 weeks, bringing traders some comfort as equities trimmed their worst quarterly decline since 2011. The September jobs report issued by the Labor Department Friday may show private businesses added about 200,000 employees after a 140,000 increase in August, according to the median forecasts of economists surveyed by Bloomberg. Now, the unemployment rate probably held at 5.1%, the lowest since April 2008. Here's the stock market watch. As we can see, everything up. The Dow 235, NASDAQ 102, S&P 500 35. Coming up on NEWS2, the Senate discusses lower rates for senior citizens and veterans at the airport. What's that all about? We'll have more coming up next. There's still time to get involved in the coastal cleanup planned for St. Thomas this Saturday. Volunteers are asked to join the effort to clean up Water Bay and Cokey Point as part of the International Coastal Cleanup. The initiative is organized by UVI's Marine Advisory Services. Volunteers, divers, and snorkelers are asked to meet at the Cokey Dive Center at 9 a.m. Saturday, while land volunteers are asked to meet in the Coral World parking area. Also at 9, organizers say ocean trash is a serious pollution problem that affects the health of people, wildlife, and local economies. And thanks to the help of volunteers over the years, there has been a significant reduction in the amount of large waste items in the ocean. Senator Terrence Nelson has been hosting a series of talks geared towards promoting peace in the community. His third meeting, which is a public town hall, is going on right now in St. Croix. Ultimately, the goal is to provide ongoing initiatives to restore and rebuild peace. NEWS2's Erica Parsons has more.
Lawmakers, community leaders, and stakeholders in the efforts to see a more peaceful VI have been attending meetings hosted by Senator Terrence Nelson to promote peace.
We are going to embark on numerous activities all under the theme of giving peace a chance. It is in response to the recent rash of violent crimes here in the territory.
Tonight, the lawmaker is hosting a public town hall to get more input from the community.
We feel it necessary to call to action individuals who are not interested in packing up and running off island, but are committed to turning around and restoring paradise to these virgin islands we call home.
So far, the initiatives to restore and rebuild peaceful communities are the Peace Talks, a Peace Memorial, and a Peace Rally and Concert.
Initial meeting, we had reached out to individual government entities who have direct involvement with children, parks and recs. We have the clergy. We have individuals who we know, like Brother Rookie, who deals with PAL. Department of Education was also there. The media is also an integral part of this. Police department was there and very involved in a lot of the planning taking place.
The ultimate goal, however, is to offer ongoing initiatives that help make peace the norm.
We understand that no one hit is going to make it, but we believe through our routine initiatives that we will definitely make a positive impact.
Erica Parsons, NEWS2.
Senator Nelson says outside of the peace meetings, one of the first initiatives will be a peace memorial set for October 10th at Island Center. The peace rally and concert is tentatively set for November 7th. Senator Jeanne wrote to American Airlines expressing displeasure at American Airlines' recently issued 3-hour warning, which advises passengers to check in 3 hours early or risk getting left behind. He stated that the change in policy will not only pose a hardship on residents and visitors alike, but will certainly impose a negative impact on those traveling on the first flight in the morning at 8:05 a.m., as the airport is not open on a 24-hour basis and would be closed at the mandated check-in time for an early morning flight. He is urging American Airlines to rethink or delay plans until they meet with the VI Port Authority and the Department of Tourism. The Senate Committee on Government Services, Consumer, and Veterans Affairs met Wednesday to consider a number of bills. One of those was legislation to provide lower rates for senior citizens and veterans at the airport. NEWS2's Erica Parsons has the story.
Port Authority Executive Director Carlton Dow told senators he can't support legislation right now to give senior citizens and veterans discounted rates for parking at the airports.
I appreciate the service and sacrifice of America's veterans and respect our senior citizens. However, I respectfully oppose Bill number 310117.
Dow told lawmakers 2 of his sons are in the military, and he saw the challenges his mother had before she died getting around airports. But right now, both the territory's major airports are undergoing improvements.
Our airport facility loses approximately $2.5 million each year. We have major Norwegian airlines starting in November, going to be making a direct from Europe flight into St. Croix. These things have to be paid for.
Dow, who's a former senator, also mentioned that the parking rates at VI airports, which is $10 daily, are lower than many in the Caribbean.
Puerto Rico's airport parking lot fee is more than twice the amount of fee that we charge to park in our airport. Furthermore, there are other Caribbean islands in addition to Puerto Rico whose airport parking fees are higher than ours.
At least one senator echoed the director's concerns.
I feel very similar to you that there are questions that the bill raises with regard to the population and the impact on the authority.
It's my understanding that veterans who are registered with Veterans Affairs and seniors with medical cards can be reimbursed for their travel expenses if they travel off island for medical care. I respectfully suggest that the committee explore whether or not seniors and veterans parking fees can also be reimbursed rather than reduce the revenue that the airport authority needs for its improvement.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.